let's bless it, and ask for that wherever this video goes, that God.
New Earth AC was formed by divine guidance to help lift up humanity and raise the vibration of all. New Earth is a community that started as a Facebook group and has grown to become an online interactive platform for those seeking to uplift, empower, and co-create with one another. On top of uplifting and inspiring posts, we began to connect with our members on a more deeper level. We now regularly host what we call Unity Circles and live stream them on our YouTube channel. Each circle is hosted by a member who wishes to share their knowledge and gifts out to the world in hopes that they can make a difference in the lives of others. You can find these circles inside the New Earth AC Divine Ray store and on our YouTube channel. Please take whatever resonates and let the rest fall away.
So I just went and hit the play when you were doing, wanted to do a blessing. And so let's just do a blessing before we get started, Bonnie.
Sure. I just want to fill this video with God's love and just have it touch the heart and reach the masses and to whoever needs whatever is the information that's on here today or whatever healing that's done here today. I just want to ask for guidance as we do this interview, and that we just help everybody involved shine. And so it is.
Thank you, Bonnie.
You're welcome.
So we have a guest on today that was brought to us by another person that has been on with us. We had a girl named Michelle Gaiman. She's come on. She's been a couple of times with us, Bonnie.
Yeah, a couple of times.
She came on with Telos. We did a thing going into Telos and like a little astral travel, and she gave me a phone call yesterday morning while you were asleep, Bonnie. And she was all excited, and she had a person that she really wanted to bring on and show the world about. And so we decided we were going to do this. It's very impromptu. We just decided last minute that we would bring this person on behalf of Rochelle. And so Rochelle Gaiman's here with us today. And I'm going to let Rochelle announce Daniel. So how's that sound?
Yeah.
So we're going to bring Rochelle in. Hi, Rochelle.
Hi, Robin. Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you guys again.
Yeah.
Nice to see you too.
Oh, I'm so excited about today. We're going to bring in Daniel Schuster, who is a wonderful spiritual medium. And he's also a teacher, and he does transmediumship. He does readings and healings, and he's just an amazing person. What I love about him is he's really dedicated himself to spirit. He has truly raised his vibration. And when I was connected with him, I actually took a class with him. That's why I'm excited about it, because what it did for me was it took away all the human constructs and removed them and expanded my consciousness and my awareness to a new level, to the point where it was such a high vibration. At first, I could only hold it for a few minutes. Now I've expanded it, and a whole new infinite intelligence has opened up to me, new entities and new vibrations, and a higher vibration has opened up. And as a result of that, I felt like it's time for the world to really get to know Daniel, because he really does everything from the heart when it comes to this, and shared the connection. And we'll get into this, but he taught me to really go into the essence of who I am, removing the personality, removing all the life experiences and that add to us and the ego, but really get to the essence of our spirit and connect that way, and really take it to a new level. So he's going to be having a class, but I want you guys to meet him, because he is just an amazing teacher that I found for myself. And he might not be for everyone, but he is definitely for mediums that need to go and have a deeper understanding of mediumship, and taking your consciousness to a new level. So with that, that's Daniel. I'd love for you to meet him.
Okay, let's bring him on. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to the New Earth AC.
Hi, Robin. Hi, Robin, Bonnie, Rachel.
Hi.
Thank you for having me
Hi,
here.
Daniel.
I am also very excited, and it is, as I said before, it's a total surprise for me to sit here and being able to share a piece of myself with you three lovely ladies. And well, Rachel, such a wonderful introduction you gave me. I don't know if I deserve that, but thank you so much.
You are so welcome.
Right? Thank
I'm
you so
just
much.
honored and humbled to be here with you and to share your gifts and how you can really help people who are really searching and looking for that deep level of connection.
So I think the best way to start really is to let you kind of introduce yourself a little bit, Daniel, and kind of give us an overview of where you are and what you do and how you got to where you're at.
Well, of course, it all depends on the point of view. When we talk about how do we get to where we are, we can talk about our story from birth to now. But we all know that would be very short-sighted. We are where we are spiritually because of the many connections that we are able to embody in the very moment. That is the reason why we are who we are, because we are able to make connections and maintain them. Well, I was born in Germany, in Bavaria, so I have Bavarian influences, south of Germany, and I was raised and lived there in a classical German, very conservative middle-class family, where the pressure is up and everything else is low. Right from the start, the connections were there. And the sensibility and the intuitive understanding that is guiding what I do were there. And that meant that there was a considerable gap between what I conceive and what the society conceives. This is something that many of us can relate to. This feeling of alienation to what society demands from us never leaves us and is a driving force in our biography. Because as a spiritual being, by definition, you are something beyond the needs of the society to form a strict structure that serves the illusions of normal humanity and the life that people are managing to have. When I got 33 around that time, I managed to leave my beloved home under many tears and started to travel around. I spent some time in Canada, in the USA, and in Mexico, settled again in the north of Germany, and since 10 years, finally and for good, I settled in Madrid, capital of Spain, where the weather is nice and the people leave you alone because they don't care, which is so comfortable. This kind of relatively broad experiences with different kind of people, cultures, social layers have certainly opened my eyes, not only to the diversity of life, but to the need to look beyond the layers that people put on themselves. Because everywhere I go, everywhere I went, everybody has the same intention. And spirituality, the way I live it, means very much to accept that in its totality, totally accept it and go beyond. Many times in my journey through life, I faced considerable challenges, and I met people who faced considerable challenges. And I learned very well how to overcome them. And that is, all this produced an energy field, because our personal life is an energy field, that is very conducive for the spirit world to impart the healing and then knowledge. Because the healing and the wisdom of the spirit world is to be imparted through the heart of man, and only through the heart of man. And this is not something that you can learn in a class or a course. This is something that you live, that you grow into slowly, year by year, decade by decade, lifetime after lifetime. And this is the time frame we should look at.
That's beautiful, Daniel. I feel that it's remembering. You're just remembering who you truly are. Every second of every day, you cognize more of who your soul truly is and what you're here on this earth for. And the more that you remember, the more your heart lights up with the love of God. And that's what brings the glory and the wisdom and everything that we already know inside. It's just peeling off the layers and bringing ourselves to that place of knowledge and wisdom to where we can stand in the presence of God. And it's just the most amazing experience. And that's what I got out of what you just said. Yeah, I totally and completely agree with you. And so when you do you do personal sessions, or how is it that you share your gift with everyone?
Well, I got quite a complete program. I do personal sessions. I do classical mediumship readings. If people want that, also psychic readings. I do trance healing via Zoom. And of course, I do personal spiritual teachings if that is required as well. Additional to that, I have classes for beginners to intermediate every Sunday regarding strictly evidential mediumship. But I do add, of course, the need for personal and spiritual development into that. And from time to time, I do a course where things really open up, where the evidential mediumship is taken for granted, at least on a basic level. And then everything else that I learned from the different spiritual traditions that I have been involved in are added into that. So I use very much energy work, awareness, scrutiny of what is going on, and connecting deliberately and consciously to the healing and constructive spiritual powers that are there just waiting for us to grab them.
Yeah, they're there. They're right there within our heart. Could you, like, just so people can get to know how, if they was to come and have a session with you, could you give us little snippets of how you might help? Like, say I was someone who came in and I felt really blocked in my life and I truly couldn't get where I needed to be. How would you help me with that?
Well, that would first of all depend on what you want from me. I start with the demand of the client. Some clients want to talk, so I listen. Yeah. Some clients want to have, and that's the majority, a clear contact to the spirit world, to a certain person. I always tell them, of course, I'm not able to call them. I would be able, but I don't do that. So we see who comes. My evidential mediumship is very much influenced by the years of training that I did with the British spiritualists, where I traveled each month for several years. So I do the classical evidential mediumship. I can bring through your loved ones, identify them, and give the message to you. But the point is, I let this, what I call the spiritual power, and that is the key, the healing power, build up during a session. So the client or the sitter is touched, not by me, but by spirit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is the key to transformation.
Yeah. So
may I just share something, Bonnie, really quick?
Sure.
To the audience about my experience with Daniel, and that's why I was so excited. First of all, I did take a class, and it was an advanced mediumship class, and I can speak for the others who are also were in the class. How we came away from that class just with so much questioning, searching. He really opened up a lot of things. But one of what you're talking about, Daniel, I actually experienced, because we in class, we always do work. And so we were actually working together. And Daniel brought through my mother so eloquently, to the point where in that moment, I felt like I was sitting there with Daniel at the kitchen table with my mother. And I had a flash of this, that we were all sitting there because he was looking out the window. And it touched me so much, because in that moment, I felt the love of my mother, and he just brought everything through so beautifully, that it overwhelmed me with the presence of my mother and spirit, and how healing it was in that moment. And spirit really came through that way. So as a sitter, with Daniel, I can tell you that spirit definitely works through him, even through you, Daniel, not that you're not here, through you, Daniel. and that even though we were on, I was sitting in Michigan and he's in Spain, spirit was filled the room, filled my heart, filled my consciousness in that moment.
Yeah.
And the experience to me was so healing. And that's why, and it was so incredible. And he also felt my mother and felt how much my mother loved me, and it was so beautiful. And that's what I want people to experience I just want to share that, because I think that everybody should have that wonderful experience with Daniel.
That's beautiful. So Daniel, do you want to show us a little bit of your mediumship with Robin and I to kind of touch on? Are you okay with doing a little bit?
This is really funny because I did my cards this morning.
Uh-huh.
I always pull my cards, and a card that I never get ever very often is called the Loved Ones card, right? And so it was a card, and I thought, what do my loved ones want to tell me? The loved ones that have passed,
That's
right?
pretty cool.
And they were coming in to say that they basically told me that they had a message for me today. And I thought to myself, why all of a sudden out of the blue would there be like somebody showing up, one of my parents, or what is going on? And I just didn't even think anything of it. And then he's just explaining that he does this. So I'm just kind of thinking this is funny. My parents might show up, who knows?
So would you be okay with doing a couple messages for Robin and I and Rochelle, if
if anything's coming
just to
through?
Give everybody a touch of what you do.
Well, I'm not really prepared to do that, so we have a nice talk here, to be very honest.
Yeah.
But let's see. Let's see
what happens.
If I can do something, okay? Let's see if I can do something. Right. Please give me a few seconds, because I would have to make a connection with the spirit world. That is part and parcel of it. And as I start to talk, I already have here, there's a woman coming through, right? I feel the presence of a woman. And this woman, I feel she's a little bit on the heavy side, right? She's a little bit on the heavy side, and I want her to be also a little bit heavy on when she was, the way she talks and the way she walks. It's not just that she gained weight during her life. She also had a little bit of a heavy character, and I want her, right? She tried to be very nice, and she had a very nice heart, but it turned out that the way she talked, the way demeanor was delivered was heavy. And I know that she's talking about three children that were very close to her during her lifetime, and that these three children were all of them were like the apple of her eyes. And the other thing I want to say is that this woman should be on the motherly side of the family for one of you ladies, and that this woman also at least for one time in her life, was near or engaged in a fire, a big fire. There's something burning, a fire. I don't know if it's a nature, a wood, or if it's a wooden house burning. Would anybody of you understand that?
So you're talking about my mom, and her mother died in a fire. Her mother burned.
Her mother died in a fire. Yes, I'm sorry to hear that. Right. Would you understand that? Would you understand that this woman did have three children?
Yes.
Yes, and she loved them so dearly. And would you also understand that she had a little bit of a heavy character, whatever that might mean? This is what she's imparting on you.
She was very strict.
Very strict. Right. Okay. Would you understand
and
that
she was a very heavy lady?
A very heavy lady. Yeah. She wasn't slim.
No.
Right. No. So, would you understand that this lady also, um, hmm, hmm, that this lady also had a life that had quite clearly ups and downs. It was not a life that was a straight line, right? She's showing me ups and downs. So she had to struggle, she had to win, and then she had to lose again. And she's exactly imparting this kind of descriptions on me: winning, losing, winning again. Would you understand that with this lady?
Mhm.
Would you understand that? Would you understand that the middle child of her middle child, was something in its own life, had more, was bigger than the others, more success or more power, or maybe more love for something. The middle child seemed to be much
Golden child.
much stronger than the other two children.
He's the golden child. He's the one that she always thought was perfect. Yeah, he does
Yeah,
have
yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
the
yeah.
seated
So
one.
that's
Yeah.
the golden child. Yeah, that's okay. So you would understand all of that, right? Okay. Would you as well understand that that I see small animals around her? I'm not sure if it's dogs or cats or some kind of small pets or animals, several of them. Would you understand that?
Would it be animals or is it small children maybe?
No, 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 no. It's animals. I see small animals.
No, it doesn't. No.
She doesn't see, right.
She
It's
never
not
let us
children.
have an animal.
Right. Let
But she always had small children. She babysat. She had like children all around her all the time.
no, 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 no. Let me go back to that. Would you understand that you do have pets or small animals around in your house? Right. Because I know what I saw. Okay. So you have pets and small animals. So she wants to talk about them. Okay. You have not only one, and there must be more of pets and animals around you, right?
Yeah. Well, I've had more than one. Yeah.
Oh, you had more than one. But because I see, she showed me several of them, and she's funny now. She's making fun of that because she says you have quite a funny relationship with these your animals. She's talking about sometimes you love them and sometimes you are very annoyed about them, and they make you you let yourself being annoyed by this of your animals. And she's laughing about that, right? She's laughing about that because she says this is somewhere where you are directing a certain kind of emotional energy that she wasn't able to express.
Mm.
That's why she talked about it, right? She was not able to express that kind of she was not able to express that kind of diversity, that kind of emotional patterns that come and go. And you do it with, and she says sometimes you are not you don't know even why you get annoyed with your animals, and you do not question why you love your animals. But she says it's about this emotional flow that has to be part of a human's life that she wasn't able to express because in her life the hardships of her life were also considerable, more straining on herself than your hardships in your life. She says you also had your hardships, but it was compared to her life more easy, and she's very happy about that, right? And again, she wants to tell you that you made the right decisions in the right moments because you were also in a similar place like her when you had your heart blocked and you were not able to touch and reach your emotions, but you made the choice to change the picture. You made the choice to change your consciousness, and you made the choice to change your relationships at the right time. And she never did that. So she wants to compare her life with your life. And she really wants to give you the feeling that you did go a step ahead of her. This is something that is important for you to know. Because when we connect with the spirit world, with this, our family, there's always the sense of the unity of the family. And the unity of the family is something that is carried on in in the spirit world in a much more conscious sense than it is here. And she wants you to know that you brought the family forwards. That is something that you do not consider to a sufficient depth in your own life path. You brought your family, the whole structure, the whole energy, the whole flow of the family forward in a way that is hard to understand while we are in the physical body. But if you sit down and open your heart to your own family, which might not be easy at first, then you will feel, maybe at the very moment, you will feel how they are not only grateful, but how they contribute to your love and your development as well as you do to theirs. They're talking about 13 days ago. She's talking about 13 days ago. There was something significant happening in your life regarding another family member. You had a message, a discussion, or a conversation 13 days ago with a family, right? Think about it, please.
With someone in the family that my
In your
brothers.
your family, it's about 2 weeks. So we have today is Sunday. That was a Monday.
Was it a physical conversation, or could it just been a texting
I
conversation?
don't know. There was something going on between you and a family member.
Okay.
You don't remember anything. 13 days ago, Monday.
I don't know
Why
if
am
it
I
was.
there?
Were you texting someone, Robin?
I've been trying to get a hold of her granddaughter, but I can't get through to her.
So you were trying. There was something, right?
Yeah.
Exactly 13 days ago. Let me see what she wants to talk about. Right. This is exactly. Yeah. This is exactly part of the message that she is bringing to you. You are not aware of the deeper meaning of a communication and the essence of a flow between heart to heart when you try to reach out to anybody, but especially to your family member. And she wants you to consider that the good intention that you have is so much more worth than you might think, because you think in the outcome that you can grasp rather than in the outcome that is really taking place. on a spirit level, on a heart-to-heart level. Because you try to unite what you have with everybody around you, and the obstacles that you face are not something that you should see as obstacle, but you should see them and accept them simply as part of the personal structure that people have gained. Your family is living in a certain kind of structure, every family. And that what you are sending out is more important than what this structure is showing us. In other words, don't look at the outcome or the reaction or the action of your family members. Be certain that the essence of your goodwill has reached where it should reach.
So if they're not answering me and they're not talking to me and calling me, that I don't need to worry about it? Because I've been trying to like pull everybody back together and nobody seems to want to. And if I'm thinking 13 days ago, it was around the day, or it was around her death. She died last year. It was right around that time, and nobody seemed to connect for her. I was upset because nobody would connect around the time of her death.
Well, she obviously wants to calm you down and to consolidate you and to show you that your efforts are very much recognized, appreciated, and everything else than effortless. They are an important part, a very important part of the progression and the healing that is going on in your family. Because there is no isolation when we do healing. There is no isolation when we are part of the progressive healing flow in our family and beyond. We are connected to our family members that are actively working with us, and much more. She wants you to relax. She wants you to relax into that healing flow rather than worrying about things that you cannot change. She wants you to tap into that power and to grow in that power. She wants you to grow in that power. She grew through the hardships in her life, and you know that. But you are able to grow through a complete different approach to life. And she wants you to understand that this is what all the family want from you. She doesn't want you to break down the barriers, because this is what you want. But she thinks that you should settle in the flow and see where it takes you.
Oh,
That's beautiful.
Robin! Oh my God!
That's
Do you know when you were talking about my mother, and you were talking about her hardships and you remember with the dogs when you were, they laughed and they used to pick on me because I have this weird relationship with my dogs. I talk to them like and all this kind of stuff, like, and she always used to think that was crazy or whatever. But when I was pregnant for my first child, she wrote me a letter because she couldn't actually she couldn't tell me what she just did right now, right? She couldn't tell me what she did. But I remember in the letter, she told me that she was so sorry. She tried to give us love. She tried to give us love, but she didn't know how to because she didn't have an example of that. So like she didn't hug us, and she didn't tell us that she loved us. And she didn't do all those things that normal parents would do because she was abused very, very badly, right, when she was a child. And so she never had that concept of love, even though she loved us dearly. And she wrote this in this letter, just like what you were talking about. And then she asked me to break that cycle and to never let my kids go to bed without knowing that they were loved, and to never like to just keep hugging my kids and to do what it was that she couldn't do. So when you said that I broke that cycle, like I broke that cycle that she wasn't able to do. She wasn't able to do that. And the cycle of abuse that went on for our whole lineage. And so from what I'm gathering from what you just said is that I actually broke that cycle of abuse in the women's line of the family. I would be curious though about what she had to say about the golden boy.
Well, to be honest,
What does she want? Does she want me to just
focus, Robin? You were the focus. That was a good thing.
the message, I don't give you her message now.
I think the message was not to get upset, because I've been actually at the point where I just feel like I don't have a family anymore because nobody wants to I'm trying to keep
Reconnect.
that, like, check in on the family and everything. And my parents were the only ones that kept that together. Like, and my mom died 17 days after my dad. So they all just died like last year. And I have two brothers and I'm the only girl. And I haven't been able to get anybody to like talk or call or contact or anything. And I just find that odd. And I was starting to get to the point where I was just like, forget it. I'm not even going to bother. I guess like I'm an only child now.
Well, didn't she just say to you though, Robin, and I found that very interesting, that it's not about the outcome. It's the fact that you put that vibration, that energy out there, and that in the physical, even though we can't see it, that it's actually it is being done, and you are uplifting the family as a result of that.
You're changing it.
You're changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she was giving you that message to know what you're doing is making an impact, even though you don't have the outcome.
And when, before I moved to Ireland, that would have been 20 years ago, I was at a state where I remember my oldest brother sitting me down when I was getting ready to move to another country. And he told me, because I was starting to be, my mother was like, there was a certain way, like what you were talking about, where she didn't make the change or something like this, and she went down the avenue of like depression and then anxiety and depression back and forth like all the time. And my brother told me that if I stayed near her, then I would be just like her. And so like because I was starting to be like that, like the way she was, and from what was happening in my life too. And so I think what she's saying is that I made the right choice by moving to Ireland and getting her far away, even though I thought that she was upset with me all this time because I left.
Yes.
I know it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain because it's a whole like thing.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that was a beautiful message,
I kind of
Daniel.
understood the whole thing that you said, except for when I was like the dogs.
Well, if you listen to it again, check out every detail. The so-called evidence is a pearl on the string of the message. Each evidence has its own message contributing to the core meaning of the message. You just mentioned your brother, right? The one that was preferred.
Mhm.
That was a very important point. And now it's up to you.
Yeah, but you actually told me that he wasn't actually preferred. She loved us all, which she
Well,
but
you see,
she always made me think it was he was the one.
exactly. There's a reason why she showed that so clearly. And there's a reason why she also showed so clearly what you are doing actually. And now you can, if you wish, compare. What is your brother doing and achieving regarding the healing, and what are you? This is one piece, one detail in the message, and one of multiple possibilities to look at that detail. Each
I'm very
detail,
surprised she came through. I just say
you,
I'm very
you,
shocked.
yeah,
I'm not.
each detail you can examine from various angles, intellectually, emotionally, and with the intuition when you listen to it in a meditative state. Each time you will gain new insights.
So Daniel, this was an amazing
That was
reading
so
that you did for
interesting.
Robin, and it's such going to help her so much knowing her personally. I want to thank you too, because I know it's really going to help her out a lot. But we just saw how you work and how you do your mediumship, and much more than that. There's no words for exactly what you're doing. And so we want to talk about your class that's coming up, and we want to invite people to come to your class and let them know about how they can learn to open their own gifts and do some of the things that you're showing us today. So would you like to talk about your upcoming class a little bit?
Well, to learn evidential mediumship right from the start, or when you're a little bit into it, I recommend my ongoing Sunday classes. Every Sunday at 2 p.m. EST, you can join them. You can book them class by class, and you learn what you wish to learn. You can come once a month or every week. This is the Evidential Mediumship, very much based on the British spiritualist way, but with the emphasis and the focus on exactly what you just um, witnessed, did witness. Creating an energy field in yourself for spirit to enter and then touch everybody who's involved. And the course, a 6-week course, that's one of the occasionally held courses, starting next Saturday at 1 p.m. EST, is a whole different dimension. Here, a basic experience in evidential mediumship is required, because we will work every time together in pairs, in breakout rooms, so everybody is working and helping on each other with certain exercises. We will not focus on the kind of family healing that we just witnessed. We will focus our evidential mediumship clearly on spiritual development, which generates a different kind of energy and different kind of messages. We will go beyond and contact with spirit guides, which is the most important connection in your whole life that you can ever make. If you do not have a crystal clear connection to at least one of your so-called spirit guides, you are, in my personal opinion, very much out of the real power that mediumship brings. Because spirit guides are there just for you. This is your one and only friend, and you have several of them, that never leaves you, that know you better than you do. That's the point. What can you do? And who is giving you insights, directions, and power on a level that you cannot imagine unless you do it. We will work as well energetically. We will, through meditations, visualizations, we will learn how to create an energy field, how to keep it stable, and how to work on it ongoing. That is very important. The whole emphasis of the course is to catch the moment of change. When change is happening every second. Well, we focus, of course, on the changes that we perceive as changes. A change is basically a transition from one state into another. So first we have a destruction and then we have a construction. In the destruction phase lies the problematic part of it, and in the constructive phase lies the beautiful momentum. We will learn to not lose our direction during the destructive phase and redirect all our life's focus, all our life, into the right direction during the constructive phase. This is done through awareness of what's going on, through shaping of our awareness. Awareness is a multi-layered concept on physical, emotional, mental, intellectual, and spiritual level and beyond. And then we will deliberately, that is the key, connect to the spirit world, let them connect us to the higher spiritual power, and let our life, the moment of change, being guided in the right direction. And there's only one right direction: spiritual development. That's the only direction that counts. But this direction is individual. It is not a one-size-fits-all, as it is taught by many, many, many people. This is the essence of spiritual power, connecting on an individual level through your guides and through your own spirit to the power, bypassing the constructs of religions, belief systems, really experiencing it, not believing, and letting yourself guide by that power. Integrate that power into your heart and into your life. And then let it shine in your life. And work on it every day of the rest of your life.
That's beautiful, Daniel. So I have a question. So if you sign up for the classes, which, we're going to put a link in the comments too for people to click on. What if you're not available for one of the Sundays and you paid for all of them? Do you do a replay so that they can do it on their own time? Or is it a class that you have to be present?
It is a presential class. The Sunday classes, if you want to go to the Sunday classes and you pay and you cannot come, it doesn't matter. It doesn't expire. You can come back. So if you pay today for a Sunday class, but there's something coming up, you have a headache or whatever, or the ex-boyfriend shows up, what can you do? So,
or your kid decides that he needs to do a science project that needs to be due tomorrow, and he tells you right now before your class.
So you're every Sunday. This is an ongoing thing, so you can't.
Every Sunday, you once you pay and it doesn't expire. The Saturday 6-week class, you pay all in total, and you're required to be there every 6 weeks. That is a very important objective of the class, to bring yourself in.
So is it happening 6 consecutive weeks, or is it 6 weeks and then there's a break for 6 weeks, and then how's that going?
No. It's easy. 6 consecutive weeks.
Okay.
We build up an energy. We learn certain skills that will contribute to your spiritual development. First of all, through the experience that you make in these 6 weeks, because we will build an energy that will touch you with wow. Rochelle can can testify to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the objective. And then, of course, the idea is that you integrate all the teachings, the practical teachings and the theoretical teachings, into your life as good as you can and as much as you wish.
That's amazing.
With the help of spirit, by the way.
Yeah.
So that program is called Spiritualizing Change, the 6-week course.
Exactly. The course is called Spiritualizing Change, and the title says everything.
Okay. But if they can't get people will be trying to click on this link that's going around the bottom. I also put the same thing in the comments, so you can go into the comments and click onto the link to get there. And then I also put the link up with you. If you would like to take this class, I put on your website, www.mediumdaniel.com as well. If that link isn't working for you, you'll still find it in there because it's on your website, right?
You can book only through my website.
Exactly.
You just and you can find quite some information about my approach on my website, but on my Facebook page as well. I post regular videos, posts, and trance teachings that I receive, excerpts from the teachings that I receive for my personal development that I put out there. This will also show you some background, some teacher of what I do.
And all of your links are in the description of this video that we're watching at the moment on YouTube. So all you need to do, if you're watching this and it's like on a Facebook group or somewhere where we shared the video over to, just go into the video and write, and when you're in YouTube, all his links and everything are listed inside there as well, on top of being in the comments.
Well, it was amazing having you here, Daniel. And anytime you want to share a class or anytime you're doing something that you need to get out to the masses, you're welcome to come back. Our door is always open to you, from our heart to your heart. You know, we really had that hour just flew by. It was like,
I know.
and it was done. I was like, oh, geez, we got to get to his class. So I had to switch gears a little bit. But boy, this was a blessing. And we hope you come and see us again sometime. And for now, though, we're going to say goodbye and see you guys all next time.
Thank you so much, Bonnie, Robin, and Rachel. It was really an honor.